Thanksgiving, everyone. This one is for you, Sissy, aka Braylon Elizabeth. She thinks I'm a rock star every year with these. I've done them about 7 years. It's actually, I'm going to straighten you out here. It's actually Pioneer Woman's recipe. But Braylon was convinced that I do something special. And I'm here to tell you, Braylon, you were correct. You were correct. You were right. I've never really measured. I kind of use a recipe and look at it and say, okay, let's make that. So, mashed potatoes. That's all I'm making today. And I can't believe she was right, but she is right. So, you can see it's steam coming out. Her recipe, I'm going to read you hers. Oh no, let me get your glasses. Sorry about that. Her recipe is 5 pounds of russets or Yukon Gold potatoes. Her recipe is 5 pounds of Yukon or russet potatoes. I've never paid attention to what kind of potatoes that I've used. I do love yellow Yukon Golds, and I like russets for baking. But each year we go to Shaw's, which is a local farmer's stand, not local, another county away but gorgeous farm stand. And we buy their winter potatoes, and I use them. So those are a white potato. These potatoes come out delicious. So 5 pounds. I don't know that I've ever measured. I just did according to what I think my family would like. And this is 5 pounds. Today, I have measured. So that's how I know Braylon was right. I don't follow the recipe. In her recipe, she does 3/4 of a cup of butter. So 3/4 of a cup is half a cup is a stick. So a stick and a half of butter is what her recipe is. So Braylon, we'll keep going. She does 1 package of cream cheese, that I do. A half a cup of half and half, we're going to talk about that. And a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of Lowery seasoned salt, which you guys know if you've been following me that I use it for a lot of things, my mom did. And a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of black pepper. That's her whole recipe. So the most important part when you're making any mashed potatoes is keeping them all cut. I didn't want you to sit there and watch me peel them and cube them, but if you make them like size, they boil all at the same time. Woo, I'm getting a facial. Also, Pioneer Woman does not use a hand mixer. I usually do the hand mixer, but today I'm going to use what she does. I'm trying to follow her recipe, but I am also putting in what I like, which is a little extra of everything. So, we've got the 5 pounds of potatoes cooked. I'm about to give myself a steam bath. I just wanted Braylon to know that she was correct all of this time. So literally, I've cubed up the cream cheese. A whole block of cream cheese goes in. This is going to take some muscle though, because I've never done it without my hand mixer. So instead of, she thinks they come out gummy. Here is her stick and a half of cubed butter. And I do that. So far we're on track. I do the 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt for sure, because I like the flavor of seasoned salt in my potatoes. So I'm going to measure. Usually I use my hands, like you guys know. So this is Lowry's. I don't even use the knockoff of this. I like a teaspoon. There's no regular salt in her recipe, and I think I use salt in mine. And I'm going to use a teaspoon of pepper. I'm pretty sure, no, I am sure that over the years I have used salt and Lowry's, but I'm gonna do her recipe, except for I'm adding a cup. She does a half a cup to a cup of half and half. This is actually a cup, and I would say a third, because that's what I had left in my container. And I already know there's no such thing as too much. So there's no such thing as too much butter, cheese, and milk. Well, it can be too much milk because they can get runny, but these are not going to be runny. So she does it all by hand, so that's what Lori's going to do today. And then what's great about these potatoes is once you make them, you can put them in a casserole dish and then dot them with butter, and I dot them with the other half a stick of butter. So basically it's 2 sticks of butter, and I definitely use the whole cup to more of half and half, because I find that it looks a little runny on the day you're making them, but as you let them, they're going to go in my fridge, and tomorrow I bake them off with the rest of the casseroles. It thickens up, so it needs the extra milk, or half and half is in this case. it needs it because I also like the hand mixer, or I like to whip them. So she said use the masher, so I'm doing it. But do you like lumps? Do you not like lumps? I don't care either way. Mashed potatoes are not my favorite, but if you've never made this recipe and you have a mashed potato loving family, you should try it, because my mom made potatoes my whole life and never put cream cheese in them. And everybody loves mashed potatoes, but I've never had them with cream cheese till I made Pioneer Woman's. I'm gonna spray this casserole dish here, just a sec. Just because I don't want it. These are a Temptations casserole dishes that clean beautifully, but I don't want to give her the opportunity to. Oh yeah, it's coming out. So I'm gonna taste it too for salt. I like salt in mine. So yes, Braylon was correct. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of salt. So she thought I did something different, and I do. I put the regular kosher salt and seasoned salt, and more half and half than Pioneer Woman, and more butter. So I'm gonna write up my recipe and cover it in my cookbook in front of hers, so that if God forbid something happens to me, they can make them the way Gaga made them. I don't know about this hand mixing thing. I kind of like them whipped. What do you think? What's your vote? I don't want to have to go get my mixer out and have you see me do it. So I'm going to do it this way, but this isn't how I've done it for 7 years, Braylon. I've whipped them, and I whipped them and whipped them and whipped them. For some reason, she says they come out gummy. I don't believe that. So now I'm trying to whip them with my hands, which are not very strong. I'm going to do it this way today because I got a video going. I don't have my hand mixer out, and the plug is over there or over there. So do you whip yours? Do you put them in your hand mixer? I've seen Brenda Gant, I watch her. She does what they call cream potatoes, which are basically these, and she puts them in her KitchenAid and they whip them up that way. So maybe that's where I like the whipping. My mother was a Southern Virginia girl, and she's always used her hand mixer a lot better than this. She's always used her hand mixer and whipped them, and I have too. So let's see tomorrow. Well, she'll watch this video if I put it up. Braylon watches every video I put on at night. It's like her visit with me, and she's all excited about tomorrow. All the kids are. So I've got applesauce, homemade. I did it because I had so many apples a couple years ago. I made applesauce, and my little grandson was about 4 or 5, Weston. He's 7 now. He ate the whole thing. So now every year at Thanksgiving, he thinks I make homemade applesauce. So guess what I do? Every year at Thanksgiving, I make homemade applesauce. And he's got his own banana bread for tomorrow. And I'm sure whatever he has, River will have, because River's 4 and thinks Weston is the cat's meow. So he will, well, they're looking whipped because I'm whipping them, but it's a lot of work. I'm sorry, Bree Drummond. I love you. I even wrote to you about your mashed potatoes on your Thanksgiving YouTube channel, and you wrote me back. It was like minutes. And she had a Gaga, so I told her that's my name, Gaga. She wrote me back, and I know it was her, because she only had the video up a couple of minutes, and I called her Riri because that's what she's having her little granddaughter call her, and I said to Riri from Gaga, you know, and I told her how Braylon named me. Like, a lot of my friends didn't want to be grandmothers. They didn't want to be called grandma, so they made up their own names. I didn't make up my name. Braylon made up my name. I was thinking I'd be grandma all along, and then when she learned to talk, which was barely talking, she called me Gaga, and the other grandmother was Lolo, and those names have stuck. So now she'll be 13 next month, which blows my mind, and I am going to get done because my hand is done. Gaga, that's what it is. So I'm gonna pour them in. Oh my God, it's heavy. And I'm gonna dot them with butter once I get them all scraped out, and I'll bring it closer so you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, hot, 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 hot. Hot and heavy. These are creamy, delicious, and yes, they will bake, so they cook more. So that if there's any lumps normally, which there normally aren't because Lowery usually uses a hand mixer, but they will cook with the baking of it tomorrow. So the lumps usually cook out. And you notice I didn't taste them again. And I, generally don't add a lot of salt to my food. But I guess I never read her recipe through and through until today. Because that's how I am. I get a recipe and it's an idea. These are creamy, delish. Let me just say. Yeah, they're perfect. Luckily, and then I dot another half a stick of butter right on top. And this is room temperature butter, so it's going to melt. I'm going to cover it with plastic because that's the lid I have for this. But tomorrow you bake it. I'll read you the directions when I get done dotting with butter and clean my fingers off. I think I talked about this too. My turkey goes in early in the morning so that I free up the oven. And usually I free it up by noon. So all my side dishes are casseroles. The sweet potato casserole I made a couple weeks ago actually has been in the fridge for the last few days thawing out. Hang on. Stuffing I made is in the fridge, and I ladle on some of the juice. That's Pioneer Woman's mashed potatoes with Gaga's extra fattening stuff. Try them. I can't really take credit for this. Either this lid's not closing either. I can't take credit for this because this is not my recipe. This is hers that I've added to it. So this is great because see, if you don't have temptations, she makes, I know I go with 50 subjects. She makes these things so that you can actually mix in your casserole dish. It's stoneware. It can go up to 500 degrees. I have tons. You guys know I'm a collector. I don't have a Christmas one. I sold most of my stuff and gave most of my stuff away. But I do have serviceware for every holiday. I love it. It's functional and it's pretty. So this goes in the fridge. Tomorrow I will take it out around noontime. It'll be covered with foil and it'll slide in next to sweet potato casserole and stuffing, and I don't know if I'm making mac and cheese, but I have a cauliflower that I made casserole au gratin with fresh tomatoes from the garden, and I froze it, and it's going to be for tomorrow. I did a lot of these things, I do them late fall when I have my harvest of vegetables. So I'm set, and then tomorrow it's basically cook the turkey, and I still have a few things to do today. I'm not done. I wanted to show Braylon her mashed potatoes, which are really Ree Drummond's mashed potatoes on steroids. So if you're into making them ahead of time, I worked in restaurants where they try to keep the mashed potatoes hot in a double boiler on the stove, and you have to do, my mother did that for years. For years I watched her trying to keep her mashed potatoes hot. I do not do that. I like this make ahead bake thing. It works for me. I want no stress tomorrow. I want to just stick them in the oven, put the buffet out, and the turkey will be all cut up already, and we just have to sit down and I make my gravy. When that turkey comes out, I make my gravy right away. So that's done. I let the birds sit and rest. These are baking later on. We eat around 4, and all I have to do is put it on my island and say, everybody help yourself. And then we put out the buffet of desserts. So yes, we're a bunch of stuffed turkeys tomorrow, and Thanksgiving is an eating holiday. So does this help you? I don't, and I will not make a healthy recipe for mashed potatoes because I'm not sure there is one. Potatoes aren't bad for you. They are from the earth. There's nutrients. I eat a baked potato, and I will have a spoonful of these. But I'm never going to make a mashed potato and say, okay, now instead of half and half butter and cream cheese, let's put in ghee. Is that how you say it? Ghee. Or let's put in roasted garlic. Would be great with ghee on mashed potatoes. But I mean, my family would be like, Gaga, get the ghee out of here. So we're going to stick with Pioneer Woman's, aka Gaga's version. And love you guys, and happy Thanksgiving. I have a few more things up my sleeves, and then I'm done.